As far as we know, Hamtramck and Dearborn, Michigan, located just outside of Detroit, are two of the only cities in the United States that actually broadcast the Muslim call to prayer over the public airspace. This is the main reason we were attracted to visiting Hamtramck, because it is so unique. Sean from our group traveled to Egypt earlier this year and experienced the call to prayer, which is an ingrained part of Islamic culture. But Egypt is a nation comprised of 90% Muslims. When we heard there was a place right here in the Midwest where the call to prayer was being broadcast, we wanted to see it firsthand and find out what the local community thought about this practice, its message, and whether or not it's a welcomed addition to the city's makeup. What happens when you take such a tradition and move it to an all-American Midwest town? What does a city that approves such a practice look and feel like? And how has the practice changed the fabric of the town's cultural fiber? And so began our night journey to Hamtramck, Michigan.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
Rather than church bells, as is seen in the Christian religious practice, or shofar horns used within Jewish synagogues, Muslims use the human voice to announce the times of prayer to their community. The adhan is the call to prayer itself, and the person who calls it is the muezzin. The adhan is broadcast by the muezzin at the mosque 5 times a day, summoning Muslims for their mandatory prayers. Its purpose is to summarize Islam's beliefs for believers and non-believers alike and sums up the shahada, the statement of faith, there is no deity but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger of God.
Hi, this is Sean from Mythicist Milwaukee. Our first stop on our quest to get feedback from the local community was El George's restaurant. It was apparent to us that the employees had a lot of opinions as to the call to prayer. However, none of them seemed to be very positive. None of the employees wanted to be filmed, yet they did give us a lot of comments on what the call to prayer has done to the local community. It's an interesting revelation for us because we did not expect this type of tension. It is very clear that, based on the comments they made, that the rise in the Muslim community has created tension in Hamtramck. They had comments such as they wish the call of prayer wasn't happening, that it didn't take place. We are going to continue to look for other people to interview, but it's going to be a bigger challenge than we expected. This is Sean again from Mythicist Milwaukee. We just had an interesting development in our quest. We actually were taken to this local Islamic center by a local who told us that the people inside would be very helpful with our cause and answer our questions. So we approached the building, and what happened was we were actually asked to leave the premises. They told us that they had an event going on and they didn't want us asking questions. We literally were just asking questions on some of the different traditions. We didn't have the camera set up and we were asked to leave. So it's interesting developments as we move forward. We actually did see a lot of full burqas, which is kind of strange for us being from Milwaukee. We don't see, we're not able to witness that often. It was interesting. We did meet a couple of people who were very helpful, and they did answer some of our questions, but as soon as one of the people who was running the event saw them talking to us, he came over, asked us what we were doing. We explained that we were just asking questions on some of the different traditions, and we're from Milwaukee, and introduced, we're here to learn more about the Islamic culture, and he asked us to leave. The two that we approached initially were very helpful. They explained to us the different times to call prayer. He actually showed us an app on his phone of the different times, which is very interesting. However, again, like I said, the gentleman running the event immediately came in and stopped it.
Through our observations of the community, we went into many little neighborhoods. We noticed that the neighborhoods within Hamtramck are not only very diverse, but also very close to one another. In one block, you can be in a very Polish community. In another block, you can be in a very Arab and Muslim community. We also noticed that there are a lot of African Americans as well, interspersed throughout many of these communities.
Hamtramck, Detroit is such a melting pot that I think this is a more accepting place because there's been two other cultures that have moved through and taken root, and their traditions have been put out there and have been accepted and ingrained in the culture here now.
In my neighborhood specifically, I see an increase of more of an Asian population, and you see that the sort of minority is becoming the older Polish community, which consists mainly of maybe 60 to 80-year-old Polish families. There's a very few the second generation that are sticking around Polish, mainly if they're not Polish and they're immigrating, they're Albanian or farther east Europe, some Mediterranean, Bosnian, more of actually the Muslim communities.
We're a unique place because we're not the city, we're not the suburbs, but we get a little bit of both. Like the people in Hamtramck or in Detroit think of us as suburbs, and the people in the suburbs think of us as part of Detroit. And so we've got an unique perspective that way.
We have a very, very diverse community with recent immigrants, as well as like the Polish population has been here already for a few generations. And we've got a lot of people from Bangladesh more recently and all over the Middle East.
I've heard back in the 80s it was like 90% Polish, but it's always historically been an immigrant neighborhood, so it's always...
Diverse community, you have a lot of cultures here and everyone's friendly, you know? They help each other out. I mean, I just like to see them get together a bit more than they really are now.
Just the environment is diverse, it's quiet, the police come on time, there's not a lot of problems here.
There's still a nice net of like cultural and like I would say like religious diversity. Like neither one is being pushed away.
Do you believe that you as a Yemenis are supported in the city of Hamtramck?
I don't think so. I think it's very diverse, the culture and the people. I feel like the Yemenis stick with the Yemenis. I feel the Indians stick with the Indians. That's sort of how it is.
A huge conflict sometimes is language barriers, because there's 30 different languages, one language per 1,000 people, all living right next to each other. So it's definitely an influx, like a situation of like this sort of international net that's like caught in a web almost. It's interesting to see how it'll work itself out.
Well, as you know, the economy is going down, and the good thing about it is everyone that is a foreigner or has came from Yemen, they establish businesses. They try their best to help the community out with whatever donations they can. Some of them are running, as politicians and whatnot. They're trying their best. Their mind is not out there as much, but they're trying their best.
Well, what's great about the Muslim community here is that they're buying property, they're taking care of it, they're revitalizing it, they're creating education systems. If it wasn't for them, I mean, how many of the Polish would have left? I mean, it could have been, pretty devastating. But originally the Bangladeshi, which is the larger ethnic community that came in the 80s, just gave the Polish community cash. They came in from New York City, couldn't afford to live there due to gentrification and whatnot. And now, like, the future is definitely heading in a different direction here. I mean, if you look around the entire Hamtramck area, south and north, and see what the neighborhoods are like, it's some of the most devastating neighborhoods in Detroit. So it's only a matter of time. If we don't do something, it'll happen here as well. They're cutting a lot of services here now. There's a big controversy with the firefighters, police departments being cut. And if that happens, then it's going to be a scary future for this very small community of 30,000 people, 2.4 square miles.
Right.
There's some really good shops in Hamtramck. I just think it has potential having more, like building on itself, diversifying more so than just religiously and ethnicity, but mentally, I guess, within the arts and creatively.
I would like to see it become better. It was a beautiful place 10 years ago, and I would love to see it be that again. It was safer, the schools were better, and now it's started to become a little more ghetto, I would say. And yeah, it would be better if it wasn't like that.
What would you like to see happen for the future of Hamtramck?
Future, if it's possible for everyone to stand up and actually start fixing the place instead of arguing with each other.
I would like to see the different cultures become more, diverse and together and not so separated and segregated.
It's a great place. I mean, don't let what the news or what people tell you scare you. You should come down here and check it out. See you guys there, I guess.
You guys are interested in the call to prayer, and that's sort of like a part of the daily texture of living in Hamtramck.
Everybody believes in it. Once they hear it, everyone's running towards the mosque.
What's that?
Do you think the adhan would have any effect
What's that?
Say that again. The message within the what?
What's that? What's the
adhan is the call to prayer.
Oh.
I know about it. I think I know what it is, but
I know it starts God is great, God is the greatest, just along those lines.
I have heard the call to prayer on occasion, and I have had no idea what they were saying, but it did cause me to pause for a second and reflect in my own way. So in that way, it was positive for me.
I don't know exactly what it says, but it sounds really nice though. Like early in the morning, just wake her up. Because I can't really decipher the message, but when I hear it, it's it's beautiful.
Not really, because Islam itself is supposed to be practiced in Arabic itself, so I don't see a problem with that at all.
What exactly they are saying, I do not know to this day, and I think that may be a problem. If the Muslim community would maybe give a transcript, say this is what we are saying. It's very benign. We aren't saying raise up and cause havoc. But I think that's what some people may feel they're saying, because they just don't understand, and that's natural. If people are talking in a different language, you may get a little bit paranoid. What are they saying? So I think that could be worked on. Give us a translation. What exactly is being said?
I have a translation here. Would you like to hear it?
I would love to.
Okay, so it says, Allah is the greatest. I bear witness that nothing deserves to be worshipped but Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is the apostle or messenger of Allah. Come to pray. Come to success. Allah is the greatest. There is no God but Allah. Prayer is better than sleep. What do you think about the call of prayer, and do you support it?
I think sleep is better than prayer. Let's start there.
And almost all organized religions have something to that effect, and that doesn't seem any different from the doctrines of Christianity or Hinduism, Buddhism. There's something in all of those religions that say something like that. I found out about the call to prayer by just being in my roommate's store and working there, and I was surprised by it when I first heard it, and it was like most people, because it's a very different sound. It's in a different language, which is a lot of times kind of threatening to people. But I heard it, and I asked my friend what the deal was, and they explained to me that it's just like church bells. You're calling people to come to church.
I see church bells is practiced like every hour, every half hour, you know. So the way that you practice it, I mean, it's fine. Like I hear it 5 times a day versus hearing the church bell every damn hour. You know, it's fine with me. It's not even an inconvenience. It's like, you know, it's time for me to get up. It's early as hell.
The Western churches, you know, Catholics, Christians, all that, have bells that ring and call people to church, but it's become so common, like a car horn or something. But I think that you don't hear it anymore. But it's just something, a new sound in the air that people are used to yet, and that's what I think the problem is. I guess they're just not used to the new thing.
I'd rather have somebody singing with a beautiful voice than to hear the same damn bell for like 5 years. You know, and they play like a little rock, that'd be awesome.
Because the Christian religion that's what goes with it, and that's what calls the Christians to the church, and the adhan is what calls the Muslims, so basically the same.
The church bells are more in the afternoon and more the time that people are awake, and I feel they don't respect how other people sleep. Like if someone else was to drive a car at 5 a.m. in the morning blasting their music, of course that would be considered disturbing the peace. But because it's religious, they don't find it that way. I feel like it interrupts some things, but I think like if churches keep it in the church, I feel like they should also keep it within their mosque.
I've never heard it at 6 a.m. It has never inconvenienced me.
The only controversy was the 5 a.m. call to prayer because it's loud and people are sleeping. It made NPR, and I mean it was a bit controversial, but kind of like sort of shook hands and was able to create a sense of order now and happiness on the two sides.
Sometimes, like I said, in the morning it wakes up, it disturbs a couple people that I know of. Other than that, it's fine.
I know there was an issue when they wanted to have it going off at 5 or very early in the morning, just because, I mean, that makes sense because you don't know everybody's schedule, like that's when they have time to sleep, and but I think they were flexible with that and understanding, so.
I do, and it's actually very spiritual to certain people that believe in it.
I don't have a problem with it as long as it's peaceful and nobody's. I can't hear it very loud from my house, so it's not like I'm right next to it, or it's not like really loud, so I don't mind it. It's not at 5 a.m., so that's okay.
It's something that's done, every day, and like a couple times a day. I hear it, and it's sort of becoming more and more common. It's just something that's new that's come to Hamtramck. But I was told that the call to prayer is singing verses of the Bible in the manner of the moment, to capture the moment, to bring a life to the words of the Quran.
I know about the call to prayer. It's my understanding that it happens 6 times a day, which I don't know that they broadcast it here in Hamtramck 6 times a day. I very rarely hear it, to tell you the truth.
Sometimes it can just be an inconvenience because before I got this new and way better job, I worked at the Wendy's, and it's right across the street from there. Now, if somebody was to come in and try to order, and they would be over they do the thing, it would be like all through the speakers. You couldn't hear anybody, But I think that's just the soul in the voice. Sometimes they'll pick somebody different, and that person will have a soulful voice, and he'll be shouting like. I got a problem with that, but sometimes it'll like be a little bit of an inconvenience, but it's not really bigotry. It's It's more of like, you know, can you just pause so I can just order, and then, you know, that's all it is.
When it first came up and was an issue, I'm recalling a group from Ohio, a very conservative Christian group from Ohio, came up here to Hamtramck to protest the call to prayer. And I happened to be walking by one of the mosques as these protesters were carrying their signs on the other side of the street, and it was kind of pathetic, really. They're just a few of them, and they had a pickup truck that they had their signs in, and there's a couple of people from the mosque outside looking at them, you know, making sure everything is going to be okay with them. And I looked at the protesters and the mosque, and, you know, who do I side with? You know, as an American, do I side with these Muslims in their mosque doing what they do, or the protesters from Ohio, you know, getting all up in arms? And I just kind of looked at them and scratched my head and you know, shrugged my shoulders to the mosque attendants and walked on. Shortly afterward, the protesters went back to Ohio, and it was, you know, kind of a non-issue at that point. Hopefully, they learned something.
Do you believe that the adhan, the way that it is being broadcast through the public airspace here in Hamtramck, is an example of freedom of religion?
I think so, but I also think that it's inconvenient sometimes when people have to wake up in the morning at 8 o'clock and they're woken up at 5 o'clock from the sound of it.
Well, actually, everybody's pretty comfortable with it because, you know, there would have been a petition going on and people would have been gathering up to stop it, but everyone seems more calm because mostly the area where the mosques are Middle Easterns.
This country was based on freedom of religion, and that's something that I think should be respected.
I think it's a freedom. I'm not sure if it's a freedom from religion. I mean, everybody has the rights, so they just have the right to do what they do.
Because I feel like everybody has their own religion, and if that's what they choose to believe, then I think they have the right to believe that.
Because whether you want to answer the prayer, the call to prayer or not, it's on you.
Well, I support it. I support if that's what you want to do, and I mean, if that's what makes you a peaceful person, why not? Yeah, go ahead. And I would think that if there were any complaints, it was truly because, wow, it's very loud, and I would like to wake up and work. It's somehow ruining the quality of my life, and if it is in fact ruining the quality of your life, maybe something should be done. With something, a little give somewhere by somebody.
It's like a lot of things. People get excited, but the end result is it really has very little material change. I think that's the way they're going to find when they legalize marijuana, for instance. A lot of people are saying, oh, the world's going to go to hell in a handbasket. If they legalize marijuana, everyone's going to be smoking and toking and everyone getting lazy. But it's my feeling that when it happens, the next day it's going to be the same as the day before. No really big change. An idea, perhaps the mosques could come up with an iPad app to ring people's telephones at the appropriate hour and give a recorded message, so that way it's not broadcast out into the airwaves. It just comes to people who want to hear it. So, a smartphone app for the call to prayer. That's my idea for today.
I think it should be modified to, like, it just respect people's sleep and just hourly times. I think that's it. But other than that, it's not a problem.
Like, explain that.
Here in Hamtramck, you can't play the adhan before 6 a.m. or after 10 p.m. He went to Egypt and all the other Islamic cultures play it throughout the day, wherever the sun. It could be at 3 a.m., it could be at midnight. So, do you believe that the 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. noise ordinance on the adhan is still a barrier to your religious or cultural practice?
Well, I kind of do, but then I don't, because you can understand where they're coming from, but you also got to understand where we're coming from. It's a Muslim community, so it has to happen, I guess.
Do you believe that the ordinance should be modified even more to fully support your religious and cultural practice?
If possible, yes. And if people agree on it, why not?
I think Hamtramck and Detroit and pretty much USA in general has just gone through a continuum of rise and fall and remaking itself, and that's just kind of what America is, and we're always doing something to make ourselves change and grow and adapt to changing situations. So
I feel like the Yemenis in America is definitely different than the Yemenis back home. Back home, they're very culturalized, very more conservative, as in the American Yemenis, they're more American. They act more like us, but it's more secretive. And they won't do it within their family home, but if they're together outside, they will go do stuff as Americans do. They will go party, and that's not part of their religion. They will go smoke or drink, that's not part of their religion. However, in Yemen, that's not tolerated whatsoever.
Most definitely. A guy the other day gave me a Quran. I didn't read it, but he was letting me know about how it's open and that anybody can join. Apparently, a lot of black people are turning Muslims. I did a protest at the mosque in Dearborn, and there was this guy who was actually burning Qurans, like for no damn reason at all, just to, I guess, be noticed. And there's people supporting him. I'm looking like, dude, like, why do you care? Like, people should worship who they want to worship. Like, it doesn't matter. Nobody knows who's the right, God. So, like, why are you critiquing a religion when you get building a birdhouse or something? Do something like positive with your life instead of burning shit. Isn't the ozone layer fucked up enough?
See, never been any peaceful, to be honest with you. The more Islam poured in, the less, drama kept coming in.
Do you believe that there is a perception of tension within the community of Hamtramck?
I feel like sometimes there is. Like a couple years ago, we were opening a gay bar, and my father and some of his friends started actually a petition to stop it because it was not what they wanted. They felt like Hamtramck was more of a Muslim place, and they didn't want that. So I feel like when it comes to examples like that, I feel like that will apply.
So do you believe that in some cases the community of Hamtramck is open and accepting to the Muslim culture, but that the Muslim culture may not be as supportive to some of the westernized beliefs?
Yes, I believe that definitely.
What religion, if any, do you proclaim?
Islam.
I don't proclaim any religion.
I guess Baptist or Christian. That would probably be the one.
I don't think I proclaim one, but not opposed to people that practice it.
I was baptized Roman Catholic, but I believe that I'm not sure. I guess I'm undecided right now. Officially, that's what I was baptized as, but like with most Roman Catholics, we're always searching.
I was raised a Roman Catholic. Over time, I have changed my thinking, and I, in all honesty, have to proclaim myself an atheist. I know there's a lot of good in the various religions of the world. I feel they developed from the caveman era, and as we moved into the cities, people needed to know how to deal with each other, and that's the purpose of religion. How do you deal with so many people in a small situation, a small community, and there's a lot of good that can come from these precepts of the religion. Of course, it's been abused, as we're seeing currently, with the terrorism and the fundamentalism and all this. But that's been going on for centuries, eons, since the beginning of religion. So that's where I'm coming from.
You believe in what you believe in, but you're always welcome to convert to Islam. That's just how it is. You want to be a Christian, you can be a Christian. You want to be Catholic, you can be Catholic. But we'll stick to what we have.
I'm not too much into religion enough to know the different aspects of each one too much. They all think they're right, and that's what conflicts me a lot of times about organized religion, because everybody thinks that they're right. But I respect them all, as the idea and concept of religion is to be a peaceful and loving person, and if that's what you're getting from your religion, then go with it, because that's what I'm all about myself. Every single organized religion thinks that they're right. Every organized religion excludes other religions. This is no different from any other religions, and that's basically my problem with religion, is in general, organized religion excludes other thoughts, that I think that people should be allowed to express whatever they want to express. This is America.
I mean, it's fine. I really don't care. I just trying to go to work and make money so I can eat.
Yeah.
And get high. But whatever God they worship, you should know that God doesn't really care. So, I mean, God is a forgiving God. All gods forgive. Even, Allah. And, the Jesus Christ Father God. I don't know. So, if they don't really recognize it as a religion, they're dumb, they're ignorant, because it's out here. So, you know the program. It's 2013, man. It's time to just stop judging people. Just roll with it. Shit.
I'm so happy to study all the world's religions and cultures. As long as they don't mess with my right and ability to, for example, consume beer. We'll get along A-okay.
Believe whatever you want to believe. This is America, man.
Many of the Muslim men that we spoke to were very interested in what we were doing. They were also intrigued by the fact that we knew many of the practices and many of the cultural aspects of the Muslim faith, but again, they were not willing to be on camera, which was unfortunate for us. And at times we thought maybe it could have been unfortunate for them as well, because we thought that they could have been a very positive aspect for their community, for their culture, for the city of Hamtramck. There were some times yesterday when we first came in, we were trying to get the perspective from the Muslim and Arab community, what they felt about their community, what they felt about the call to prayer, and a lot of times we were pushed away, we were asked politely to leave.
Off camera, however, we did have some very positive interactions with people of the Muslim faith. They answered our questions, they talked to us and explained some of the tenets of their religion. So we were very thankful for that. We saw that as a positive learning experience for us, as we are constantly trying to research and get to the origins of multiple religions. So we do appreciate that.
So there were times where we did feel unwelcomed, we did feel nervous, but it wasn't until we spoke to more of the Muslim and Arab community that they just don't feel comfortable with media, especially when they feel that in most of the times, or in many times, they feel that the media portrays them in a negative light. We looked at this as an opportunity for them to showcase the positiveness of their culture and of their religion, to showcase the positive things that they're bringing into the city and community of Hamtramck. But unfortunately, it took us a little bit of time before we were able to get some Muslim individuals to actually interview with us.
Our goal in this documentary was to visit Hamtramck and get the community's feedback on the call to prayer. And I think we were successful in a small sample getting that perspective. It seems overall that the locals in Hamtramck do not have an issue with the call to prayer. as long as it doesn't intrude on their sleep. That was one of the big ones. But us coming in, we just wanted to focus and be as objective as possible. We did notice that in the community there are opportunities to fix up some of the abandoned buildings, rent the abandoned buildings. We did notice there's a couple organizations that are doing just that.
We know that Hamtramck by seeing many of the people that are in this community. It is a very diverse, culturally rich community, and we were very lucky to get the opportunity to make this trip out here and to see firsthand what it is like when different cultures live in such close proximity to each other, how they coexist and how they cooperate with each other.
And it seems to us that the community is accepting of the call to prayer. That was very positive. We had some very positive feedback. This is Sean and Fritz again with Mythicist Milwaukee. We just wanted to take a couple minutes and conclude what we've observed in Hamtramck. And
we'd like to say, first of all, thank you to the people of this community. They welcomed us through many different times. There were a couple situations where, to be quite honest, we didn't feel very welcomed, but then we found out that, for many of the Islamic members of this community, they just do not feel comfortable being on camera, which is why, unfortunately, we were unable to get more interviews with people of the Islamic and Muslim culture. But again, we got to see this beautiful city. We know that there are improvements economically that need to occur in this city.
Hamtramck was very welcoming to us. They answered our questions, and we just wanted to thank them. And we appreciated the opportunity to visit this unique place. And this is Mythicist Milwaukee. Thank you for watching this. Visit our website for any more information, and please feel free to like us on Facebook. Thank you very much. So again, we just wanted to thank everyone in Hamtramck for their time, taking the time out of their day to let us talk with them and get their feedback on the various aspects that we observed. Again, very diverse community. It was very impressive to see the different cultures living side by side. And again, please reach out to your local organization that is trying to better the community. We feel their efforts are very important to the future of Hamtramck.
حي على الصلاة